Welcome to another episode of The Crimson Fly, where you can see the process of making the comic. My name is Colin SkipperWing Bird. If you'd like a version of this video without the audio commentary, you can check out the links in the description below, or in the cards, or in the annotations when they appear on screen at the end of the video. Or you can click on my face, there should be an annotation right here. Before we get started, today's music is Bittersweet by The Passion HiFi. You can find a link to download it in the description below. On to today's strip. Issue number 6, strip number 75. There are 75 of these now? Woo! 25 more until 100. Woo! Though, admittedly, the nature of the strip means that there probably won't be any milestone celebrations, since they would probably interrupt the plot. Plus, the nature of the strip means that they don't really mean as much either, since we're almost at 100 strips, but the comic's only 1 year old, and we're only on issue 6. Still, good to know that the comic can be kept running that long. Please, sound off in the comments if you'll be sticking around until strip number 100, or what's kept you reading this far. But less about milestones and more about today's strip. For the sketch, you'll notice that I drew the last 2 panels twice. Well, that's because I wasn't too sure about the emotional tone of the cinematography. I always want the comic to be as interesting to read as possible in all of its individual bits, and sometimes that means experimenting a bit. I picked a top-down view because bird's eye camera perspectives make the characters feel or seem small, and I wanted to inject this character to feel very tiny and pitiable because of the circumstances of their situation. I also wanted to inject a hint of mystery between panels by having Joe step off screen and force the reader to want to read the next strip. Plus, I felt that the straight horizontal camera was very boring and I wanted to shake things up a bit. However, the bird's eye view made things very hard to read, and the strip was more about conveying information and mood rather than providing catharsis, so I went with a more basic camera perspective. What do you guys think? Sound off in the comments. The rest of the composition was smooth sailing up until the panel crossover of the wheelchair kid between panels. Each panel is its own composition, denoted by the layer mask that makes up the panel border. And while you can ignore the panel border mask by not attaching it to the wheelchair kid, actually having the kid move between compositions requires making 2 copies of the same animation, 1 in each composition, and lining them up with each other so they seem seamless. You can see this sort of with the background as the backgrounds for the panels 3 and 4 run into each other. Luckily, I didn't have to overlap animations for the wheelchair because there was no need for complex animation triggers since the kid only rolls in one direction, a really easy to understand animation. And so the kid could stand on their own layer. I tried to give them some mood lighting with a layer mask, but that really didn't pan out since Flash doesn't know how to handle symbols acting as their own layer masks. Luckily, that just pushes the importance of the kid since their actions manipulate the panel borders, which is a pretty cool happy accident. Has something like that ever happened to you? Please, sound off in the comments. One of the really interesting parts of doing a series like this is that you're always going to be called to try out things you've never done before that you never think to have to do, like in this case, animating a wheelchair. You don't see a lot of that anywhere because we don't live in a society that likes to depict that, unfortunately. So it was very interesting working through the motions of wheeling a wheelchair. I did this by sitting in a chair and working through the motions of how a wheelchair would work. It seemed to start with the head and torso leaning forward to gain momentum, having that momentum spread through the arms to power the wheels, and pushing that momentum through the wheels to move. I think that's how that works. I wasn't really about to barge into someplace I didn't belong just to try out their wheelchairs for accuracy. Maybe I should have? What do you guys think? Please, sound off in the comments. When it came to cleanup, I felt it was much easier to puppet the animation rather than drawing each frame traditionally since the bottom half of the character, wheels aside, didn't move. The head was pretty simple, though admittedly I forgot the breath mask. Dang it! But the torso and arms were where most of the hard work came in, though admittedly there was a little bit of laziness on my part. The torso wasn't too bad since it was covered by the arms, though that meant the arms needed to be spot on. Luckily, the wheelchair kid was wearing baggy sleeves, so I didn't have to work too hard about depicting the elbows, which might have made the motion look robotic if done wrong, and I just kept the hands on the back wheels for simplicity's sake. What do you guys think? How might you have handled it if you have the experience and technical know-how to back up your knowledge? Please, sound off in the comments. All in all, a lot of interesting things happened in the strip. Despite being dialogue-driven, I hit a multiple of 25 milestone. I got to animate and try out something I've never done before, and I got to play with the composition of the comic strip by having the backgrounds react to the character. Pretty cool, all in all, right? What do you guys think? Please, sound off in the comments. And that's it for today's strip. Please, if you like what you saw, please subscribe and turn on notifications, the little bell thing next to the subscribe button, to keep seeing these videos. Also, don't forget to check out this this video in its original interactive format. This is Colin SkipperWing Bird signing out, and I'll catch you peeps later.